Oh my goodness. How did I let it get like this? Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and I make videos about motherhood, minimalism and Montessori. Today we're back with another organisation video as I sort out one of the areas in our new house that has become an absolute disaster. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you may have seen my previous toy organisation video. I will link it in the cards down here. However, a lot has changed since that video. In fact, you know, we had another baby. There have been multiple Christmases and birthdays. I sold some toys, we've got new toys. And in this new house, the system is very different. So we've kind of needed a setup that'll work in this space, but I haven't gotten around to making one. Instead, our toy cupboard has just been a dumping ground where I hastily shove everything in and hope nothing falls out on my head when I open it. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the disaster that we've ended up with. This first cupboard is kind of our library. So we have all of our kids' books that are not currently in rotation, and then our own sort of limited collection of books, recipe books and stuff that we do want to keep in the back there, and the CDs that Reese is determined to keep for the next 100 years. And then down here we've got toys and toy storage baskets that did not fit in the toy cupboard, so I've just shoved them in there and hope for the best. But that is another area that we need to take care of today. Oh, and you, what have you got to say about that? Ready? Want to help? Ready, just turned 1 and he's also due for a nap, so we might get that under. In here is the real disaster area. Oh my goodness. How did I let it get like this? Ready? That's not a safe place to play. That's going to give you a head injury. Oh, you found one of your old baby toys. Right then. Yep, so this needs some serious help. I'm feeling overwhelmed just looking at it. Wow. In the time I've spent thinking about what to do with this cupboard and also procrastinating about actually doing it, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to do things a little bit differently. In my last toy storage setup, I had everything organised into micro categories, mostly using these long acrylic boxes which are from Kmart. I think in looking at this cupboard space, I'm going to have to take a completely different approach. I'm going to have to use big boxes, big broad categories, so that I can take a whole box out of this cupboard and pull out what I want, because putting things individually on these shelves, well, that's how we ended up with this disaster. So with the shape of this cupboard, it's tall, it's deep, but it's not super wide. I'm gonna have to take a different approach and see if I can find a solution that works. By the way, if you hear a gurgly noise in the background, my washing machine is down here. We're actually in the laundry space at the moment and it is currently running a load because I decided if I was going to wait to film this video until I wasn't doing a load of washing, it'd never happen. Okay, so my first task is going to be pulling out all the large containers that I'm going to use to contain the categories, sticking them on the floor in the laundry and then start pulling out the items. As we go, I do want to see if there's anything else that I want to sell. I did sell off a bunch of our toys at the end of last year, stuff that wasn't getting love, stuff that we had kind of too much of, my Grimm's box. But of course we have then added things as well. Because I've also started teaching at Montessori school, I'm running the Montessori toddler program this year. A bunch of our items that are more aligned with Montessori materials are actually stored at my playgroup at the moment, so they're not factored into the storage, but they won't be there indefinitely as things are rotated in and out. So I do have to factor in that we actually have more than what's currently stored here, and obviously our items that are currently in the playroom or upstairs in the living area as well. So if I can get rid of some stuff, then that would be good. It's a little ridiculous. I'm also quite perfectionistic about my organisation, so you know, bear with me. I'm going to probably struggle if things are not fitting into exact categories and getting to use the pretty labels that I've made. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter.
Okay, I think this basket is going to have to be like baby toys. It's excuse the audio going in the background. I can't actually reach my phone to turn it off. Yeah, so all the stuff that's kind of in 0 to 1, more baby oriented, is going to go in here.
And words unspoken, we fall apart, and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. Cause I don't wanna waste my time.
We are back after an impromptu trip to Costco with my sister. That was the first time I've been, and I'm slightly disturbed. And a lunch break, and now Violet is grubbing around on the floor here with the toys. Honey, you can't be taking things out of containers. If I put them in a container, they're all organised, they need to stay there.
Yeah, I want to put this.
I know you do, but that needs to go in the baby toys basket. Wish me. I can't even say wish me luck, because I feel like that's just embedding false hope right from the start. We're just gonna see how much we can get done and then bail out on this and handle it another time.
Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. Cause I don't wanna waste my time, no.
Okay, here's our progress. This top is a little bit wobbly. Those shouldn't be there. And then again, you've just got miscellaneous stuff on the front. This container is empty, so I have to look at my remaining categories and see what still needs a home. Down here and down here. So far so good, until you spot this. And then I start feeling a little bit panicked. Not to mention this whole disaster. And the laundry cupboard, which hasn't even been touched. I mean, why I thought I could do this with the kids around, I'll never know. That was silly. Oh, and I forgot to show you earlier the cupboard under the laundry sink that has got all like the messy play, sensory, well, it doesn't have the sensory stuff in it, but it needs to. It's the messy play outside toy stuff, which is also a disaster. This is looking really good, and I've actually got, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've got extra space, but it doesn't look terrible. And I can start sort of assigning the labels to the pieces. Under here, this was kind of just a dumping ground. I'm going to keep the organisational items that are display items. Okay, this is looking a little bit better. The books are back where they should be. This pile here are the ones that need to be chameleoned, as we say, recorded to the chameleon reader. And then under here, this is my stash of baskets. Most of these really nice wooden ones are the brand Papoose. And then we've just got a couple of IKEA ones and the Q Toys trays, Mod Play, House of Play, and some more IKEA. At the back there,
You have in front of you, or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. Cause I don't wanna waste my time. If we don't feel the same way, then don't pretend that everything's okay. Don't string me along the way you do. Just let me get over you. Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have.
this little one that's labelled Fine Motor and that lives up the top here is kind of like my junk drawer of the toy cupboard. It's stuff that gets used but for some reason isn't used at the moment, or it's parts. So we've got a few open and closed items, but I've also got the smallest pieces of the Duplo that is out, that just got added to a lot for Freddie's birthday and they both love it. But he does like to chew, there's my broken rubber band, on these smaller bits. So I'm going to put those away for now. You've got the block thing for his scrunch ball. I have no idea where the actual ball is. Some pieces from our music set that again are just a little too pokey and pointy to have out right now, but hopefully they'll be back in soon. Light up LED lights for the light panel I made for the Trofast table. And then some extra labels. I'm going to sell off a bunch of our extra labels, but I'm keeping these ones because those are ones that I will probably use at some point. Finished product of the toy cupboard. Top shelf, we have our small categories. And then we have our baby toys and our graphite mandala set. Down here we have calm down and travel toys. Did a couple of the toy cloth bags in there for packing toys for travel. Then we've got things like our calm down books, our dimple popper, and then things like the whirly squigs and kaleidoscope, just sort of individual toys that they can play with when we're out and about. Up the back, standing up there, is the toy piano that was mine. I got that for my 2nd birthday. Kids love it. I love it in, you know, short increments. Up the back here we have our Lola, and then underneath our Mins, Rings and Coins. These are the candles that we use in our celebration ring, the beeswax candles, and these are kind of just sorting and stacking. So we use this old wipes box for posting activities, and that's a posting activity that Reese made to go in the lid of our Trofast table. Our stacking and sort of more Montessori inspired items in here, right over from our very small baby ones. This one's a really flexible one, and I might actually, I think that would be a good travel one as well, so I'll see about that. And then more Grims over here, and this Gallop peg popper, which every baby loves. Down here, more bigger categories. Our Small World. A lot of the Small World stuff is actually out in the playroom right now, so that's fine. Balls, games. So games is a broad definition, but things like the more structured activities. My battery's going to die. Some blocks, play food and crockery. Magnetic ball run, which pairs with the tiles, flashcards and animals. And this is our learning, just stuck a label, learning section, tracing boards, Montessori letters, pegboard. Our hundreds board is currently upstairs, but that could go in there too. Imaginary play, so we've got dolls, clothes, accessories, soft toys and pretend play. Things like cash register, extra dolls, clothes, phone, medical set. Down the bottom is our 1001 night set, all packed back into its tray. And then in here we've got wooden puzzles, so not the ones that are jigsaws, but the actual wooden ones, and a building set, and any more sort of smaller block style stuff will go in there. So yeah, I feel like that came out really well. Obviously there's still no spare space, but you can't have everything. And this just looks a lot better. And I think using the broader categories is going to make this easier to maintain. So yeah, really pleased with the way that turned out. So here is my box of things to declutter. I've got a spare pair of sandals that I don't think Violet is going to need. One of the pieces of our second Scout routine helper, we're using bigger boards for it, so I'm going to list that for sale and see. A spare tripod, a way to play roads because they're just not getting used, we use the Brio ones instead, and a spare set of my labels. I ended up ordering a double batch by mistake, so I have a bunch of those to list for sale. On to the final cupboard. Down here I've just been throwing in like any outdoor play stuff, but it does also have like the potty training stuff stuffed in there, and this shelf is at a really awkward height, so I'm wondering whether I move that, or even whether I can move that with the under sink piping. Under sink cabinets are always such a pain. But as well as the stuff that's already in here, I need to fit in the rotator bath toys and all our sensory bin items. So yeah, this could be interesting. The squigs, the Fat Brain Toys squigs, I've not kept the container for those, and I've just put them in this little IKEA tub. And with these, I can stick them to the tiled wall here when Freddie's having his nappy change, because he absolutely hates it. Or I can put the tub of these down on the laundry floor, and he will just kind of sit here and play if I'm just outside the door hanging the washing or loading the washing or whatever I'm doing. So he's happy with that. And you'll see all our laundry waiting to be put away and other stuff. Yeah, the laundry is a mess, but I'll get to that. Got to deal with this cupboard first. all done. We have outside toys, beach stuff, etc., bubbles and the splash pad. The sensory tongs and stuff are in that Duplo container, and then we've got 3 of our containers of sensory stuff, our rotated bath toys. The other sensory stuff up the back are the 2 mats, the piece of vinyl, and then the Rudy Nudie mat for sensory play, and then this play tray that we use. So yeah, that all fits. Thank you for sticking with me for this mammoth organisation project. Please click the link to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.